feel like that's my life motto, is just like say yes to everything you can, because you never know like what room you're going to be in, who you're going to meet, what opportunity it's going to lead to. Like speaking of change and that kind of being the theme of today, like there's so many opportunities for change when you just say yes and like put yourself in the right rooms and meet the right people. And
what do you got to lose?
Right.
Nothing. Welcome to Casually Spiraling with me, Julie Bishop, just a tall girl in this world trying to make sense of life, dating, money, relationships, identity, culture, you know, all the things. I've found that my thoughts don't always land with the people around me, so I'm here to break it all down, talk it out, probably overshare, and maybe find some who don't think I'm totally crazy after all. Welcome back to Casually Spiraling. Today we have the first ever returning guest on the pod, Miss Emily.
Woo! I'm so excited to be here.
Yes.
Thank you for having me back.
I'm so excited you're back and that you wanted to come back after being on, because obviously I asked you to come on the first time, but you know, for you coming back a second time, hopefully that means good things.
It means great things.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see you on the journey of creating the pod, and then 6 months ago when I was on, all the way to now, and just I'm so excited to be back for a second episode and hopefully more.
We're back, bitches. So if you haven't listened, she was on episode 8, I want to say. And we talked about being in this like in-between age. We talked about crazy dating stories. We talked about how we met on Bumble BFFs and how we're a success 1 year later.
Yes.
We are still here.
Just celebrated our 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, in the same spot that we met. So she's back and we're back to get into more. And I think we have so much to catch up on because so much has changed since.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yay, let's do it. So much has changed, I feel like, since then. I feel like we're both in a little bit of different places than we were then. You're taking on new goals, pursuits, career path. You're off the market, new places of LA, all the things. And like I was saying before, we talked about this like in-between age. But now I feel like we're both kind of in this in-between era altogether, or like phase of life altogether.
Yes, I feel like a lot has changed just across the board, like you said, and it's fun to just keep up with each other as things change and kind of check in and be like, where are you at with this? And kind of just workshop ideas and things like that, especially with our online presences.
I know, scary. So we have so much to catch up on with Emily. But I think like to start out being in this like transitional period where there is a lot of changes and it's a lot of uncertainty and it's kind of scary and kind of vulnerable and like very much a roller coaster, like day to day, up and downs. And I feel like this part, this like transitional period maybe like isn't showcased as much because it's like right before the success or like the big thing that then people, you know, they show their highlight reel, people know them after, but it's a very interesting time, the like right before when everything is changing. So yeah, I don't know, not as many people talk about it. So like, how are you handling it, like your day to day, or how are you feeling?
Yeah, I think change is always hard, but change signals growth, and change is important for kind of moving into the next chapter of who you are. And so that's kind of been the work that I've been doing and realizing and talking with my awesome therapist about is just that change can be a good thing and it doesn't have to be so scary necessarily. Some things that I'm doing to like get through the change period is just kind of looking back at times in my life where one example is like I'm moving, like past examples where I've moved in the past and how that worked out ultimately for the better, or there was just kind of a new doorway that opened by closing another. And while it can be scary, there's sort of like this excitement on the other side. So I've been trying to align more with the excitement of what's through the next door rather than kind of fixating on it's scary to change something. Yeah. And that's been like the main thing helping me through it.
I think, especially when you said the move thing, at least when I moved here, I 100% was focusing on, oh, well, I've moved before and it worked out, or I grew for the better or learned for the better. So that like really kept me just like excited and less scared when I moved here. Because I was like, I've done it before. I can do it again. And it worked out for the better. And so much good came out of it before. So much good is going to come out of it now.
Yes.
Duh.
Sometimes you need to shake the snow globe of life and just be like, okay, we're comfortable. Like, how can we change this up? How can we move in a different direction?
Yeah.
Like, that's how I feel. I'm kind of excited by change too, but when I'm on the other side of it, and when you can reflect and be like, oh, this was like the better decision.
Yeah.
But in the moment, you're kind of like, oh, it's scary. It's scary. So I'm trying to be like already to the other side where I am right now, but that's also hard to do. So,
and I feel like it changes so much. Like you can have one day where you're like, oh my God, it's so exciting. Like you don't know what's around the corner that can be exciting feeling. And then the next day you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like, why did I do this?
Yeah, I'm scared.
Why did I put myself in this situation?
Come pick me up.
Yeah, exactly. Mom, pick me up.
Pick me up.
It's scary here.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
Exactly.
But I guess like during this, you said you use that to cope. What like keeps you motivated, I guess, to keep pushing and seeing what comes for you?
That's such a good question because like I don't really know.
I don't know.
I
The
don't know,
idea
like,
of possibility.
I guess it's like the idea of it's the idea of possibility, and it's the idea of, as every day like that I'm going in a different direction of kind of moving in that, I'm getting older and there's just only going to be so much more time to shake things up before you're settled down and, in that phase of life. And so I think until I get there, I want to just keep trying new things, being in new places and try to have fun along the way.
Yeah.
I think honestly, like one is aligning with the other side of it and being excited for what can come, but also just kind of the delusional distraction of, like the things that we do together and like the things I do with friends and with my boyfriend and the places I'm traveling to and the videos I'm making, like just like leaning into being present and doing the things that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, keeping distracted while also keeping like my trains moving in the directions I'm trying to go at the same time.
Focus on the now as you're moving forward.
Yeah.
And like this definitely is, like you were saying, the time to do it. I feel like this is the time to always be changing things up and exploring and seeing what sticks with a person, what not before we're old.
Yeah, before we have our own house and all of that, like married, and it's just like, while we're young, while we're still in our 20s, while we can still claim our 20s before we turn 30. I think it's just like live it up and keep going and shake it up when it needs to be shaken up. Like that's the advice I'm trying to give myself at least.
Every day. What do you like wish people understood who are like observing from the outside about this period that they may not get if they're in a different spot?
I think that it could just be hard, like when people are going through periods with a lot of change, especially for me, it's like job, relationships, living situation, like that's a lot of key pillars of life. And so it can be easy to, feel like, oh, there's no stability. Like, where am I actually stable? Like, there's a lot going on. So, like, really focusing on the pockets that are stable and, like, fostering those. And I think it would just, people that aren't going through change, it's, like, hard to see that because, like, maybe all of their ducks are in a row. Like, they have everything in certain little blocks and pillars and places. I don't know who, like, is like that these days. But I think when you just don't have the same perspective or you haven't gone through, like, change at that amount in a while or maybe ever, it can be hard to like have that perspective. But I think like that's important to share with your friends and like people that are close in your life, is kind of just like, hey, this is where I'm at, just so that there's like a shared understanding and POV as you're kind of moving through and navigating, and why you may be more available or less available, or a harder day versus an easier day, or social situation where you would have ordinarily shown up like really excited or whatever, but you're like stressed about something that's life and happening in the moment. So I think it's just good to share perspective with people that you're around so they don't, read the room wrong or like take things personally when it's like not about them at all.
Just being honest and communicating like where you're at.
Yeah. I think communication's super important, like in every relationship, and especially when you're going through like a big period of change. Yeah.
Do you think like these people, like your friends and your people that you have, and staying connected to that, is that kind of like how you ground yourself when everything else is changing around you?
I think so. I think I like lean a lot into my relationships and lean into my family and my friends and my boyfriend and just kind of, like be present in like what those spaces have to offer and foster those spaces, because that feels like the most stable of everything else that's moving is like the relationships you have, and just kind of builds that. I mean, like, love is amazing, and that's what we're all looking for. And there's love in everything, not romantically, but in friendships. Like, I think that's another thing too that I've learned a lot online and just seeing on TikTok and stuff. I'm sure you've seen the same thing, is like videos where people are talking about, you don't have to find that kind of love in romantically. Like, you can have that kind of love in a friendship or, like with, I can't think of another example, but I can only think of, yourself. With yourself, I'm thinking of friends, but with yourself, like learning to where you can get love if you're single or, you're not like in a romantic relationship. So that's, I've been just leaning into those a lot and fostering those.
Well, I'm so excited to see what's coming, because I just know it's going to be amazing. And I'm so glad that I get to witness it and
in the front
be
row.
Here for it. Front row seat, cheering you on, recording.
Yes.
All of it.
You've really been along with me through, you've seen so many like moments of change already, but you're actively witnessing like more change.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to have like stable pillars that travel with you through like instability.
It's my own little reality show I get to watch.
Yeah, you're like,
what's the update?
Love Island.
Yeah.
New episode of Love Island every single day.
What is she doing in the villa today?
We check in. Yeah. We're like, every time we check in, we hang out, we have like all these updates of where we both are in life and all the tea and everything crazy, but everything awesome too. Yeah. And it's good to, it's good to go together on the journey.
Usually, always. And one exciting thing that's changing or that you're pursuing during this is you're now on TikTok. And you're putting yourself out there, and that's vulnerable, but that's fun. And what made you want to start? And what excites you about it?
Yeah, well, it is like so much fun, and it's so much fun to have friends like yourself that are doing similar things. And when it can be stressful or feel like a lot, can really like lean into those friendships of people that are experiencing the same thing. I would say like, and I think we talked about this on our first episode, that we like grew up, as kind of like these performers, and my dad would always shoot me on the VHS. I think your dad did the same. And I like knew that I always loved sort of like performing in that sense. And I would always ask him to like shoot longer, like let me do like 10 more dance performances with 10 more outfit changes and whatever. And I think that's always been in the back of my mind. And through college, like I had thought about it and it did it in my own sort of way, but I thought about it even more like just working in the entertainment industry and working for people that manage talent. And so kind of watching the whole backside of it, just being like, this has always been a passion and an idea, like where do I fit into this space? Yeah. And I had several conversations with friends, years ago, like 2 years ago or more, of like what would my sort of place be, and like we would kind of ideate on paper, and I just never took action on it. And I think what really was like the catalyst for me was watching friends in such close proximity do things that they were passionate about, and one, love it, but also start to have like their versions of success and also public versions of success. And I think proximity is so important to like make you believe that you can do something when it's especially close to you. And so when that started happening, I started talking to them like behind the scenes, kind of asking how they were navigating that and what they liked about it and everything. And then at a certain point I was like, okay, the time is now. Just how we talked about everything before with change and everything in our age and like stuff like that, is like the time is now to try it. And we had the similar conversation ourselves, like before you had started the pod and everything exciting. And so I think those conversations like lit a fire in me of, if it's not now, what is it going to be? And like, let's give it a go. And I think I'm starting out just really slow and kind of leaning into spaces that feel comfortable and authentic, and the goal is to just get more and more and more vulnerable online and really build something out of it that aligns with me and like my passions and everything.
I don't think people like realize how scary it can be to be vulnerable in that such public space or in front of a camera like that, or how much of a hustle and a grind and how much you have to really keep up with it can be, because obviously you're just watching like videos on your phone and it looks so easy, but the behind the scenes, it's hard and it's a grind and it takes persistence, and it can be scary to be your authentic self and put that out there in front of everyone to see and witness and comment on.
100%.
And it's like, whoa. And it's like, doesn't come natural at first. And it can feel really weird at first to do that. And I don't know, but then it gets exciting and it can build community. And my personal favorites, because you said you worked in entertainment, is she does these glow and tell.
Yeah, glow and tell.
That's my favorite, because she has the inside tea from working in entertainment. So she spills like beauty, skincare, makeup, whatever, health products that, people in the entertainment industry use. And then the city maxing, especially because I'm new to LA. Yeah. That one is very exciting to me, because I'm always like wanting to get out there and see new places in your hometown too. Like, you don't have to travel outside to like try new things.
Yeah. Especially when we're in like a city like this and there's so much to offer all the time. Like, I'm always someone that's like, I have fear of missing out. Like, I want to just try everything, see it, especially if it's something that like aligns with interests, like any of the like beauty pop-ups or just brand pop-ups. Like, I've like worked in brand marketing and wanting to see like what brands are doing. Like, the other day we went to like the Main Street Fair and we saw like Supergirl was activating, and it was just cool to see like what different brands are doing. And so I love to just kind of put it online and kind of show my experience, like walking through it. Doing that with like the World Cup activations and in LA and everything like that. So I'm glad you love it.
Yeah.
It's fun to make.
Those are my favorite. Fun to make. And I have like bought things that you've talked about before.
I know,
like,
which I love.
Influenced me. I texted her. I said I ordered it.
I'm like, okay, we're in process here.
Yeah.
Something is happening.
Yeah.
It's working. Yeah, no, I'm so glad to hear that. I think it is fun to share, because there's so many things that like I have tried by osmosis, just like working for people who like, these are staples in their closet or in their kitchen and they like love it and they can't go a day without it. And it's like, that's so fun to like try. And then if it works, like share.
Yeah.
And so that's been fun to make those.
And there's so many people like influencing products and shit. And it could not be good stuff, but you got the inside, like, know that it works and have seen the results. So it's good stuff.
It's good stuff. And it's coming from yours truly, personal and exec assistant in Hollywood. So not like a makeup artist or anything, just kind of someone who sees like really everything, like an array of every part of, the people you work for. Yeah.
Also, Emily and I think we're the face of that Main Street Fair that we went to.
We are.
Every single tent has to take our photos with our products.
Yeah, we were walking down and they were like, "Can we
flex.
get a picture of you with our product?" And we were like, honestly, like, I don't know what went through your head, but my reaction was just to say yes, because I was thinking like the back end of like our content, and I was like, I would just want people to be a part of it if we asked.
Put our face out there.
Yeah, and put our face out there, and like I was like, why not? Quick picture.
I mean, speaking of Love Island, that's how Gal, I don't know his name, got on Love Island. And that one TikTok of a girl went in and was doing her segment Hotter in Person, and then the casting director saw that. I saw that. Me and my friends were sending that TikTok around. I knew exactly who that was when he went into the villa.
Yeah.
I was like, no way.
I drive by that coffee shop like every day.
Yeah. I see literally on my feed on TikTok, LA girls just being like, this guy's hot, come to this place, and may have discussed going there.
The girls are doing work. The girls are doing work for the single girls. This is what, when you sent me that, I had not seen that segment, and I was like, this is an amazing thing, because it is encouraging. I feel like that is encouraging for kind of like away from the dating apps. Like, you could meet people in person, and I think these girls are making this content to like encourage that, like, and it's also giving the place where like they found them. Like, you can find this person in a coffee shop, like options where you can find these people beyond like the typical bar scene too. So when you sent me that, I was like, wow, that's a great idea. So shout out to that girl, whoever that creator is.
But because his face was out there in a different way anyway, that's how we
Yeah.
got cast.
Right.
Anyway, not that we're going on Love Island, but
No, but we do watch it every night.
But we are tuned in.
But we are tuned into all the tea.
And it's just an example, I guess, of just saying yes to things, and you don't know what could come from what.
Yeah.
When you put yourself out there.
I feel like that's my life motto, is just like say yes to everything you can, because you never know like what room you're going to be in, who you're going to meet, what opportunity it's going to lead to. Like, speaking of change and that kind of being the theme of today, like there's so many opportunities for change when you just say yes and like put yourself in the right rooms and meet the right people. And
what do you got to lose?
Right.
Nothing. I know we have vented about things like this before, but when you're pursuing TikTok and videos and putting yourself out there, what have been like the biggest challenges, maybe the most surprising challenges of pursuing that?
I mean, I think it's very vulnerable to put yourself on camera and then post it, you know, no matter what. If you're speaking, not speaking, it really doesn't matter. For me, I do a lot of shooting like in public spaces, and I definitely get in my head about that. Yeah, I'm like, oh, people are looking, like fear of judgment, like just to be very vulnerable, like fear of judgment is a real thing. And I think that some of the sort of reframes I've been doing is just kind of to try to, like, a tool, I guess, to say is like when I'm shooting in a public setting, I try to think of like whoever's shooting me as my family. And like that's who I feel like the most comfortable with. And like that's like who shot me growing up. And I think I'll try to just kind of drop into that feeling and then channel that, and then just like try to kind of generate confidence that way if it's not already there. But I think a challenge would for sure be like just the vulnerability and trying to kind of like navigate through those hurdles of wherever you're shooting, like publicly. And I mean, it's a lot easier to shoot in your room, and then when you go outside it's like it's a lot harder. You're like
definitely different.
Like, people do watch, like you can't help but to watch like when someone's shooting. And I mean, I've watched other people and I think it's just like not everyone is thinking a bad thing, and so just kind of reminding yourself that, and also trying to like it's a work in progress for me, but to try to sort of take the attachment off of like whatever other people's opinions are and just focus on what I'm trying to create and that's like meaningful to me, and it's fun to make. Like there's so much editing and work that we talk about all the time that we put into the crafts that we're making,
video.
But it's always worth it because like it's fun to do. It's fun to make. It's like channeling a creative part of me that I've wanted to express for so long, and I've just had, I don't know, just like not made it a priority or have had fear of doing it. And so it's fun to step into it now and channel like that energy around it.
I was going to ask like what is the most fun part, but probably the answer is the creativity, I think, for both of us maybe, but there is so many other aspects too. Like it's community building, like adventure, because you're filming these videos, you're probably trying new things because you're making the videos. Like there's a lot of potential that can come out of creating the videos. But creativity. And when you get excited too about like a new idea that you have and you're like, oh, I want to do that and I want to make it good. I don't know. I have the most fun with that, at least I think.
I love it. Yeah. I love too when like friends or family or like roommates are like, oh, I saw that. And then like they kind of talk to you about it too. And just like to know that your network is also enjoying it. Like that's kind of like the most important, is the people that you love are loving it too, or, you know, are watching. Like that's exciting.
I mean, if your friends are not liking and commenting, then are they your real friends?
Yeah, what's going on,
like,
guys?
Come on.
I'm just kidding.
It's hard. Like during this process, have you found any like tips or tricks that, you know, help you make your best videos?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, like, it starts with a good equipment setup.
Yeah.
Like, we've talked about this. I, before, owned tiny mics that were not as good at, like, capturing audio in, like, loud spaces, better for, like, rooms where there weren't a lot of people. And when I remember we took the mics out, we were like, oh, these could use an upgrade. And so since I've upgraded, like, having better mini mics, like, having a great setup stand, like, awesome light, awesome tripod, all of that, super helpful. Like just having the basics, and it sounds so silly, but it's like you have to have the basics
makes a
to
big
begin.
Difference.
And I think beyond that is just, like I said, like the confidence thing, like just kind of like generating confidence to like be able to exude the energy that I want to exude on camera when I'm shooting. But yeah, in terms of like tips and tricks, I think on TikTok, I've noticed like the algorithm responds when you are engaged online, like when you're interacting, when you're actually like, I'm just going to say customer, but when you're like somebody who's actually using the
platform,
like when you're using the platform and you're not just going on posting and leaving the app, like I don't think it rewards that, but it rewards like when you're engaged and interacting with other content, which is something like we ordinarily do anyway. Like we're ordinarily always online. Like that's why we are also posting.
Yeah.
But I think I've just noticed like the more I interact, the more I get back. So kind of like, it makes sense in my head, but it's also like, it's just a little bit more work, I guess, or like you're being more cognizant of what you're doing when you're doing it. But I have noticed that. And I've noticed like, of course, the things of like using trending audios and stuff. But I will say, I think that the things that land better are not necessarily like the kitschy trends, but more like when you're showing really who you are, like that goes much further with the audience.
Yeah. I feel like whenever I talk about something that actually means something to me and I have personal experience with or personally feel a type of way about versus talking about something that's just in the zeitgeist or what everyone's talking about, I'm like, okay, let me comment on it. Like huge difference. And even how I act in that video, I guess like not that I'm acting, but my confidence, like you're saying, is just more true to me than when I'm speaking from real personal experience and thoughts than just being like, okay, this is what everyone's talking about, let me comment on it and just say something to be in the works. And I think that it comes across.
Yeah, I think it does.
100%.
I think it's always like fun to throw a comment out. If it's something that's like really, I've had like some of my comments have had like more likes than some of my videos, like on other people's posts. Like it's just like kind of fun to just get engaged with like the spaces that you're already naturally in, especially if you have like a opinion that will probably resonate with a larger audience too.
Nothing like the comment that told me I needed to show more feet in my video.
That was crazy, by the way. That was crazy.
I haven't taken it up yet.
Do you think you're gonna take it up?
Maybe. Dogs are covered right now.
That might be a side business.
Dogs are covered right now.
Yeah, that might not be
for
the casually spiraling audience. But hey, we'll take suggestions. Hey, we'll take suggestions.
Listen,
what's working for other people, you know? Let us know.
We love it. We love it. Do you have any advice that does not involve feet for someone else pursuing or maybe who is scared to just start and jump in?
Yeah, I think honestly, like there's no time like the present. Everyone's going to tell you that online. And for me, like I said, I had these conversations years ago, never acted on it. And I think like there's always a time where you naturally start and you're like, well, that was when I was ready. And that makes sense. But I think if it's a thought and you're actively, it's like a daily thing that's crossing your mind when you scroll, oh, like, should I post this? Should I, there's space for everyone. I think that's another thing too, is people think the market is so congested and there's like someone talking about every single thing that could ever be online. And I don't think that that's true. I think there's space, like niche pockets where everyone can find their place. So, and just like not having imposter syndrome, like if it is something that you want to do, give it a try, make a video. And even if you don't post it, have it in your drafts or in your photo album and try it again later. And if you're just like, yeah, this feels uncomfortable, then don't do it. But if it feels exciting, like see it through.
And you got to start somewhere. I think everyone who you see is successful now, they're probably embarrassed at first. Everyone started from zero and was feeling embarrassed or whatever, but look it up now and the life they live now. Sorry. And the money they're making and whatever, the career that they have. So everyone's going to be like, if anyone has anything to say or judgment, like they're going to be laughing or rolling over when it pops off.
Everyone has that
jealous.
Story. Unless you're netboed in, like you are starting with nothing and you're building your own audience. So yeah, I've heard those stories. I know you've heard those stories, like with other people that we admire, like on podcasts and stuff, talking about their journey and how they came up in the content space. Like everyone starts with where there's maybe nothing going on, and then it's like all of a sudden. And it can happen overnight to some of these people, by the way.
Oh my gosh,
it can happen to you, me, whatever, whoever. Like overnight, something could happen, and it's just like, that's it.
You never know.
Next day is a different day.
No.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, one other big change that has come into your life is Emily has done the impossible. The impossible thing that you're not even going to believe me when I tell you. You're going to think I'm lying. But I swear, it's true. The most impossible thing ever. You found a green flag man in Los Angeles, California, which is crazy.
It could be. It's an impossible feat.
Yeah.
It could feel like an impossible feat.
How does it feel to be the one woman to accomplish this?
I'm so glad you asked. Yeah. I mean, it feels great. I had been single for a while, and so it feels like great to be in a relationship and to have somebody that, like checks these boxes that I had been waiting for. So yeah, I think there's definitely a period of my life where I was like, does this exist? Does this exist?
Here?
Where are they? I know you've talked about that on this pod. And yeah, it's definitely been a great change. It's been like, it was scary at first, like to go from being single to being in a relationship. Like you're a completely 180 in terms of the day to day and like factoring in someone else again. And I'd been in relationships obviously before, but you kind of forget in the in-between periods of what it's like on a day-to-day basis. But I think it's all exciting change as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. New job, new man. But yeah, we definitely talked about that on one of our walks recently, how we both had been single for a little bit. And it is a big difference going from being someone who is so independent to now you got to consider a whole ass other human, like in your decisions and in your day to day, which I have not done in a very long time.
Especially when you're in like a different period of your own life too. Like when you're in a different era, different season, and now like someone else is kind of in the, like it's a constant consideration of someone else being a part of your life. Yeah. Especially like in a romantic partnership. But I think that there's so much awesome to come from it. Yeah. And like I've been really leaning into like the exciting parts of being in a relationship too, and like remembering those aspects and fostering those too, and just kind of like leaning in. That's like one of the things we talked about at the beginning, like leaning into the things that are growing and fostering the things that do feel stable, like while there's so much change around it. And so that's been something that I've been leaning into. We've done travel and we've got to do a lot of awesome experiences together, and the meeting of the families and the merging of the friend groups. We're about to do a big friend group trip that we are doing, and my boyfriend and his friends will be on, and all my friends too, and you'll be there, and it's exciting.
July 4th, 2026 will never be the same.
It's exciting.
I'm so excited. It's been so fun, and I just love it, and I love, it's exciting because like you said, love is the best, and it's a very good change. So I'm glad it's working out.
It's fun to be loved and to love someone.
Yeah.
And I think that's something you miss when you're single, is like you kind of forget.
I got so much love to give.
You got so much love to give.
I swear.
You got more love to give beyond your own network right now.
I know, like what the hell?
I mean, it's fun. It's fun to like, do dates and get flowers and like cuddle and watch shows and go to the movies and like things that you did before alone, or things maybe you didn't do that you can do now.
Okay. I'm tired of hearing about it now.
Next topic. Anyways, why was that a topic?
I was kidding.
No, but I think one thing that has been really funny, I'll share like a funny little tidbit, is I played soccer for 15 years and we've been watching a lot of World Cup. Like he's obsessed with the World Cup. We've gone to a game. It's fun. It's exciting. I'm watching too, but I'm not watching every game. He's watching like every game, but I'm watching every episode of Love Island. So we'll be together like winding down, and he'll like have his laptop with World Cup on and I'll have mine with Love Island, but like we're together, but we're just like watching our own things. Yeah. And then, so obviously we watch movies together and stuff, but like right now with the World Cup and Love Island, it's kind of a fun observation to be, like you said, considering someone else. It's like, well, we both want to watch those things, but maybe we don't want to watch as much as the other person, but we can watch next to each other.
That's so true. If I have someone right now, would they just be in the way of me coming home every single night and putting on Love Island?
Would they watch
would have
with?
to watch. They must.
Yeah, he's watched a little bit with me.
Yeah.
But, it's
know,
more of a girl thing.
We'll go to bars to watch the World Cup games. We'll go to bars to watch
Love Island.
It's popping off this summer.
Yeah.
In all the ways. But I just love that and I appreciate even now with your new relationship that is so exciting. You still are someone who like make time for your friends and like I love like spending time with your boyfriend as well. But I feel like you also like make sure to spend time like just with your girls or just with your friends. Like you are good at balancing both. Versus, I feel like a lot of people, once they get a boyfriend or into a relationship, you either never see them again or you never see them without their partner ever again.
That's true.
And you've just been so good. And two, like, you're still there and like down to like, I'm not even saying like go out and drink or whatever, but like just do things instead of just like staying home with a partner all day. Cause some people do that, but like,
yeah,
you're still down like to get out there. And like, I'm single. So I like still being out in the world and like, I don't know, some I just witnessed, not my friends on my own. My friends seem to be really good at this. Like you, my other Emily, I haven't even met her boyfriend yet because every time we see each other, we're like, but we want to hang out.
I know you said that.
Yeah. And then my friend Ange, who's married now, every time I go home, it's like we go out and do something together, us two. Same with Meg. She's a boyfriend. But it's like when you're around your friends, I think it's important to still have, your separate lives and your girl time. And then also at other points, like bring everyone together. So is this something that you are intentional about or just comes naturally? And didn't even think about it?
I mean, I'm glad that you are like giving me the compliment. I think it's tough. It's tough. It's tough to do because I'm really trying to do it better this time because I think in the past I've like kind of been more wrapped up in the relationship. And so I think this time I'm trying to be more cognizant of like my friends, but also his friends and then moments where we can all come together.
Yeah.
And I think that that's important is to like look for the areas to bring everyone together, but also find the pockets of like keeping your relationships going. And I think, I definitely have had friends, like you said, that have, gotten into a relationship and then that's kind of it. You see them every 4 months or not really at all.
Or just once they break up and then you hear from them again.
And then you hear from them again. Yeah. And it's like tough to lose. It's tough to like lose those people. And I think in the past, it's been hard for me to process that change because it's hard to not take it personally or try to understand, why things can't be balanced. So I think I'm coming from that point of view of I know what it's like to be single while my friends have gotten into relationships. And then I don't want to leave my friends feeling like that now that I'm in one. So I think also like my point of view when I was single is informing how I want to move now.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing my best. I don't think I'm perfect at it, but I think I'm trying my best.
You're doing great.
And that's
my
the
eyes.
best that we can do. But it is really fun. Like, we're both very social and we both like have friend groups and we both want to be doing things. And so that kind of allows for more of a runway to do things like what you're talking about. Where I think like a different situation, it just wouldn't come as organically. So I think there's definitely more opportunities like with my situation to make it happen.
Yeah.
But it's definitely tough because there's so much in a week, like between friends and boyfriend and like job and tasks and like regular, workouts, like what the content we're shooting, everything. So it's hard to balance, but like if someone has the answer, send it my way on like the perfect way to balance everything.
Yeah.
But until we figure it out, we're just figuring it out and trying our best.
Well, you're doing good. Because it's
thank
not
you.
like we're in school anymore where we haven't been for a minute, but where like you would see your friends in class or whatever. So that's your friend time, then you see your boyfriend after. I don't know. It is a lot more to balance when everyone is everywhere and we all have work and we all have lives and
especially in LA, we're so like we both live in the same part of town, but we're still like 15 to 20 minutes apart because of traffic and like just the way the city's configured. So it's also hard when, like you said, to your point, when we were in school, like maybe your neighbor was your best friend.
There. Yeah.
But now, you can't walk across the street and hang. Like you got to like plan it out. Like everyone, make sure there's a pocket in each other's schedules. Like drive to each other. Like there's so many more things as an adult to factor into making things happen. So yeah, behind every relationship is work, but you know, when you put in the work, then you reap the reward.
Yeah,
and
it takes a lot more work.
Yeah.
I know we had that 1 week. I think we were both about to go out of town, and we were trying to see each other before going downtown. We're like, okay, are you free between this hour and this day? No, but I have this hour free.
Exactly. There was like one day where I completely was like, what day is that? I thought it was one day. And then we still ended up hanging out, but it was a few hours later. It's just like everyone's schedules, like we need a shared calendar, but then I'm not putting stuff on a shared calendar.
No.
Like,
that's too much.
One of my good friends actually has a calendar where he's like, send me whenever you're in town, like send me the calendar invite to my work calendar and I'll make it a personal thing. And I'm like, what? You're that busy? You need me to send you an actual calendar invite? But like, I'll do it because I want to see him when I'm in town. So it's just funny. That's funny. Different things work for different people. Like find what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's so real. But yeah, I did an episode recently kind of transitioning into friendships and talking about friendships, about how I've been witnessing a lot of people, you know, being kind of lazy in friendships. It seemed to be a bit of an epidemic of people just being lazy, not as intentional, not as considerate. And I feel like you reached out during that or like had similar viewpoints, or I know we talk about like wanting to meet more people that we're like closer with instead of just having like casual acquaintance, like friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you have any hot takes on friendships?
Girl, here we go again with the friendships, dude. It is so hard to make friends when you are in your late 20s. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to admit that on camera, but we are in our late 20s.
Someone was really shocked when I said it. My coworker was like, "You're 23," and I was like, "Oh, babe."
I would run for the hills with that. I would run for the hills with that. Thank you for that compliment.
Thank you, but I am 28.
Yeah. It is much harder to make friends. I think some things that Julie and we've been talking about is like, again, it's like putting yourself in situations where you could meet people. Like we met on Bumble BFF, but there's these other things that we've been kind of ideating lately of like girl groups. Mm-hmm. And if someone started a walk club, I will not be in a run club after running 90-minute soccer games for 15 years, my entire life and practices. But I will do a walk club. Like I'll do a girls walk club. I'll do a girls beach club, like kind of more leaning into more spaces where I kind of like when you're single and you're trying to like think of ways to meet guys in different ways. I think there's ways to meet friends in different ways.
Yeah.
And I think something that we should definitely try that we haven't tried yet, I've done in different cities is like these girl groups where it's like specifically a group of girls in their 20s that are intentionally meeting up through social media. And again, like you never know who you could meet in those rooms. And it's just basically like a big mingle, like a big, what's it called? Like, what are those like? Oh, like meetups, like those, like a meetup thing. And yeah, like I think those are things we should do. I think we should try that. And that would be my advice, is just kind of looking for things in your city that are a little outside of the ordinary. Yeah. And there's ways to do it in person. There's ways to do it with apps, like depending on if your city's big, small, whatever. We proved that the app can work. Now let's go prove that the in-person can work. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's just like testing things until something works.
Yeah. And sticking to the ones that stick. There was a walking group in Atlanta that I met people from, like not a run club, but literally would meet up and walk. And I met people through there that then I ended up meeting people through them that then became my friends in Atlanta. So
fun.
Yeah, it didn't like directly work, but indirectly
worked.
Yeah. So that was fun, but
I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah. Very cool. So before this transitional period and period that we're in now of pursuing our passions, we both, I still currently do, but worked in restaurants and customer service jobs and all that. And they're definitely quite a crazy experience. I think we talked about how you definitely know when someone has worked one of those jobs and when someone has never worked one of those jobs. It can tell. It can shape a person in a lot of ways. But yeah, I just wanted to hear, I did a whole episode on crazy stories from customer service days. I have even more than I shared in that episode. Yeah, I want to hear, do you have any crazy stories from your times back in those days?
Oh my gosh, so many.
Tell me.
I think it takes a very like specific person to work in restaurant, and I think restaurant can really shape you. Like it can give you so much life experience. One of my original managers, so I've worked, not currently, but I worked like 5 years on and off in fine dining, like always steakhouses. One of my managers told me that you do so much micro skill building like in a restaurant. Like you don't even realize all these things that you're micro building, like between table to table, conversation to conversation. And I guess I never really understood it until I got into my career and then realized how well prepared I was to like leave college, go into my first job, having had all of my restaurant experience and just the ability to like be able to talk to anyone about anything, to entertain people, like to
tell them something,
multitask.
Yeah.
Yes, there's sales, there's multitasking. There's so many skills that like naturally and organically like lend a hand into your actual career and really anything in life, even relationships.
Yeah.
But there's also so much craziness with restaurant. Like just as much as amazingness there's so much craziness.
So much goes on behind the scenes.
So much goes on.
And in front of the scenes.
So much goes on behind and in front of the scenes. And like, let's just say one of the places I worked at, one of my good friends and I have a shared note, and there's at least like 40 stories on there that we were just like, we should just make a shared note of all the stuff that happened in the time we were working there. Yeah. And one day we made it and we just started writing it all out. And we were at the beach with our friends and we told them a bunch of the stories. And we honestly should have recorded that whole entire day because our friends' reactions were just hilarious. And obviously want to hear your stories too. I really think everyone that's worked in restaurant, like food and beverage restaurant, it doesn't matter, anything customer service facing, but specifically food and beverage, has a story. Like you have a story.
Yeah. There's
front of house, back of house.
Yeah.
Something has happened.
Where every day I was coming home and being like, you'll never guess what happened today.
Yes.
Like, almost every single day.
Yes. When I was living at home, like my family would be waiting for a story. Like just like how you wait for like a Love Island episode, they'd be like, what happened tonight? Like we're ready. Like seated.
And the entertainment part of me loved to come home and be like, guess what?
I would be taking off my tie, like, taking on my vest. Like I would be like, okay, this is what happened. Like get ready, sit down, buckle in. And that was just such a fun thing to share because I always thought like there's no way I could up the ante on this one. Like there's no way I could up the stakes. Boom, next day, new story.
Yeah.
And you're leaving like nightly with a new story. Like if you're not leaving with a story, it was like a bad night.
Yeah.
Like, it was a baseline. It was a baseline criteria of working in a restaurant.
Yeah.
For me, I have so many, but one that sort of sits at the top is was working at a restaurant, and I believe this was just a group of people. I wasn't there, but one of my good friends went, and there was like a group of 4 to 5 people that when you're in restaurant, and we've talked about this, you're getting off so late. Like your shifts could be 11 hours. You're like coming in midday, like early afternoon, leaving at like 11 when the restaurant closes, or midnight. You're getting home late. A lot of your friends could be your coworkers, and you could be leaving and doing things with them, like going to the bar, going to whatever. For us, we did a lot of like karaoke at the bar, or we would go like to events in the town or whatever, things like this. And this night, like 5 people left the restaurant. It was very late. Someone decided to go to one of our coworkers' apartment buildings. And I think most apartments, like the curfew for using like that pool and hot tub is like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
It was definitely like 11 or midnight. And they're all, adrenaline's pumping after the shift. Alcohol's most likely flowing. And they all decide they want to go in the hot tub, but no one has a bathing suit. And whoever's place
What
it was
should
like
we
didn't
do?
have what do we do with this hot tub and no bathing suit?
Huh.
And they all go in and they're skinny dipping and it's like near midnight. And someone in the apartment calls the cops and was bothered by the noise, like noise complaint. Cops come do a routine check, show up. All of them are in the hot tub. It's like 5 people in the hot tub that I worked with.
Oh no.
And what's
Coochie's
below
out.
the water but nothing? Coochie's nothing is on. And the cops are like, someone needs to get out. Like, we need to talk to you. And so like my friend gets out and he's a guy. So he's like trying to respect the girls that were there and got out and just kind of covered up what you can with your hands and kind of talked to the cops. And the cops are like, yeah, no, you guys all need to get out. Like, whatever. And they didn't have like towels or anything. So they all get out. And I think, some things that were borderline sexual harassment, if not full blown, were occurring in the hot tub. I don't know the exact story. I don't think physically, but I think just like comments and things like that.
Yeah.
This is important for later in the story. So anyways, cut to the next night or week when a few of them have the same shift and they're in the restaurant and one of the girls is like serving her section and one of the guys that went, because when you're in a restaurant, like the age range spans from like 18, because you could serve without being of age,
40s,
alcohol being of age, to like 40s, 50s, 60s, because you're making so much money at some of these establishments, it can become like a full-time job. And so this hot tub was of all age ranges, and the guy I think was like, well, maybe our parents' age, I don't know. And he was like walking through her section while she was serving. And he literally goes like up to her in earshot of her tables and is like, damn, insert name. I didn't know that you were like, I didn't know that you had those big old titties. And she was like, I'm just laughing at the delivery. Obviously, like, this is an intrusive thought that should not have happened.
Sure.
At all.
Could be any other time.
Any other
if you
time.
must say this thought.
But maybe not at all. But certainly not in front of the tables. Either way, it's sexual harassment.
Yeah.
No matter who hears it, and especially telling it to her. I think he just thought because like they were all friends and like I was friends with her, that like it was like fine to say. Like he thought, oh, we're friends. Like it's not like sexual. It's just like a compliment. And it certainly was not a compliment. Like that's super crazy, like letting an intrusive thought win like that in front of tables at all, really, period. And so then like no tolerance policy, management fired him, and like that was it. But the thing is like these people like just move to the next restaurant. Because they're not really like checking that. I feel like when they hire, you'll just eventually reveal your cards that you're an alcoholic or it'll sexually harass, whatever, and then it will happen again, whatever. But yeah, like that was just something really crazy. It's like, dude, like that was a private hangout. Like that's a private comment or not at all. So I'm like, I just don't know what goes through the heads of some people. But yeah, that's one of the more wild ones.
Oh my God. That's insane. I haven't had that kind of crazy stuff. I had more like guest and customer, a lot of crazy stuff. I mean, the employees of every place I worked at, there's all dating, there's all sneaky stuff going on. It's so funny knowing someone's real life persona and then seeing their customer service persona and seeing that switch. That can be very entertaining.
Because you have to kind of turn something on at your table. Yeah. Like you have to be like, like no matter what day you're having, like you got to show up and show out.
And put that face on. So I've always find that so entertaining. Or if I meet someone in a work environment first and then learning like who they actually are, the vice versa, it's like, oh, okay, I see you. But yeah, one that I don't think I shared on my episode would be back in the Starbucks days. And I know I talked about my fingers getting slammed in the door, hot water being thrown, spit on, coworker got punched.
Craziness, by the way.
All that kind of craziness. But one I don't think I shared was, so this gentleman came in and was yelling at us to use the bathroom because in LA, bathrooms are locked up for customers only, right? And has like a little keypad. He's asking, my store manager was there at the time, and is like, I gotta use the bathroom. She's like, it's for customers only, like, gotta make a purchase or whatever. He just starts screaming, I've got to shit right now.
That's wild.
I've got to go. You're keeping me from going to the bathroom.
What time of day was this?
I opened that day and I was about to clock off, so it had to be around like noon, like midday.
Okay, and people are like in there
Sun
for like
is bright. Lunch break. It was
lunch.
a place around a bunch of offices, so everyone came in during the lunch rush. Bright day, bright sun shining. This is not after hours.
This is not 5 a.m.
No,
or like about to close. This is like
noon.
Prime midday. People are there,
and he's screaming in the middle of the lobby that he has to shit. So my manager lets him use the restroom.
Just like no discernment for
anyone else. But he was like pissed off, of course. Not of course, but like that's the type of person he was. And like calling names and all this kind of stuff. And he walks out of the restroom and is walking towards the door. And I see something drop onto the floor as he's walking out. And I go, my jaw drops. I say, that is not what I think that is. I said, what are the chances? I just clocked out.
Did you?
I was just clocking out, and
you're like, not my problem.
Yeah. So I turned to my store manager.
Not today.
The shift supervisor that was clocking in. I was like, oh dang, what a shame. I've clocked out. I think there's shit in the lobby. I gotta go. Bye. Like literally, this man took with him from the restroom, brought some out to place in our lobby because he was so mad and insane. And dropped it in the middle of the lobby and kept walking.
So it was not an accidental drop.
No, I think it was very intentional.
Either way, it's horrible.
And yeah, I just
wait, and that's like
I was like looking at the lobby. I was like,
do you guys have to like evacuate the premises for that?
That kind of stuff. I think they call a like a different person to come in. Yeah. So we don't have to. But either way,
I would be like,
but also
I
like
would not be eating there anymore.
I've talked about like how horrible Starbucks treats their employees. I'm sure they just made the employees clean that shit up, but they're supposed to call a biohazard kind of situation.
Yeah.
I don't know how they handled it because I said, "Oh my god, I'm clocked out. Look, I gotta go.
My shift is over. Appointment is right
my
now.
god,
Look at the time.
I don't want to break any labor laws and clock back in.
That's insane.
So, yeah,
I
left.
can't.
Yep, that was one I don't think I shared.
That's enough for me to get my resignation.
Yeah,
thank you, and that will be all. I've had enough. Thank you.
I was so blessed when I got laid off. So blessed.
I've had enough of this.
Yeah. In a different previous restaurant job that I worked at, I've had like the craziness also. People just act in a different way crazy. You know what's bad? When I feel like there's a man's like either girlfriend or wife stepping over and apologizing to me separately.
Horrible.
That's when you know it's bad. That has happened multiple times where the woman will come over and be like, I'm so sorry for him. That's when you know they ain't acting right. But this man was like, everyone thinks they're so famous and you're not. Thinking he was such a hot shot and being like, when I go to other places, they don't make me wait. They didn't know me and this and that. I'm like, okay, he was from like Arizona or something. He was here out of town. I'm like, go back to Arizona then. I don't give a fuck about you. Like, our wait time is an hour and a half, and that's not even bad for a 7 p.m. like timing that you're walking in at. So you are going to wait. And I sat him exactly on that hour and a half mark, exactly as he was quoted. And the whole time he was like huffing and puffing.
He waited it out?
They did wait it out. And they sat down and ate. And then when they got up, that's when the wife apologized to me. And then he came up to me after. They were with their kids too and was like, what was your name or whatever? And introduced him, said his name, and it's like, you're never going to make me wait again like that, are you? Look me right in my eyes, sir. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
You're not above anyone else.
And I think too in a restaurant, like being a woman, if you're like the person up front, like a lot of the men don't take you seriously or like don't take your word for like if you have to like say a rule or whatever. at least for me, they don't. And I'll be like, I can get a manager. They're like, oh, you're going to ask a manager? I'm like, no, the manager's going to say the same thing. I'm just going to get one because you won't accept it out of my mouth.
From me, right.
I literally
you
said,
need like authority person to say it.
If you won't, this has happened before previously where I'm like, okay, well, if you want to accept it from my mouth, you can accept it from my manager's mouth. And they say the same exact shit and then they're out of there. And I'm like, they just don't want to accept it from a pretty girl's mouth.
Yeah. Period. That's a great reframe.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, you're too pretty to be laying down the law.
Yeah.
I can do both.
Well, it is my job.
Yeah. But yeah, there's always insane days that I never believe. But like you said, you've learned a lot, or you've been in interviews, I think, and like people are impressed when you've done certain jobs like that for a certain amount of time. So what kind of like skills do you think you've taken away that you now imply, or you just have grown from or use?
Yeah,
today?
I think
not
that, like,
not in that environment.
Yeah, I think that there's so many of us, like, it's so crazy to me when you graduate college and you're applying for jobs and the jobs you're applying to want you to have all this experience that's impossible to have when it's your first job. It's almost like, here's your first job now, tell us what your other 5 were before this. It's like, well, this is my first one. Like, you know what I mean?
And in order to get a job, you need experience, but you can't experience without having experience.
Yeah, exactly. And that always, like, I never understood that. So I leaned into like my internships, and then I also leaned in a lot to like all of the restaurant experience that I had.
Yeah.
And I think never be afraid or ashamed to include that experience, because it's so important to communicate that you have worked in these jobs, and anyone that's hiring for any job knows or has worked it or knows what it's like or knows people that they've hired that have worked in it, that customer service facing jobs like build character in someone that you would want on your team. Like, you would want someone who is quick on their feet. Like, that's a skill. Like, can solve problems in real time, can communicate tough news to someone, but then give them a great solution. Like, you're the middleman as a server. You have to deal with people's frustrations. The cook may have cooked the thing wrong, but you have to deal with it.
Yeah. You have to deal with all different types of people, just like someone
any
who was
job,
a CEO, you know,
any
has
job.
to handle
You have
so
to
many
handle,
different
like,
personalities.
when things go wrong, when things go right.
And keep it professional as you do it in the moment.
Yeah, keep it professional. Like you said, handle people's frustrations, handle people's, you know, whatever. Like, all these circumstances could come up. And I think when you have multiple tables or multiple guests, something that's in almost every job description that I've seen, or it's come up in interviews, at least one or the other, is like the ability to multitask, to think ahead, to anticipate needs, to problem solve, to, you know, just basically be organized. Like, all of these things come up when you're, for me, like serving tables. Like, how do you know what table needs what and when they need it? That's multitasking. That's organization. That's prioritization. That's like breaking things down, getting timing perfectly right, knowing people when they need it, what they need, when they need it, before they need it, what's the next course, what are they going to need for that. So these are all transferable skills that you can highlight to employers, that it doesn't need to just be like, oh, I worked at a restaurant and that's it.
Yeah.
Never play it down.
No.
Always play it up, because there's so many things that I've had people hire me, or I've gotten far in interview processes, and something they've told me is like, I love my customer experience people. I love my restaurants people because I love my restaurant people because they know what these things are like. They know how to do these things in real time. And there's just like that certain personality. So all that to say, like, it plays so much into your career.
Yeah.
It's a great experience to get in high school and college. You make great money, first off.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think an employer is always going to respect that. And I have my resume built now, and I still bring it up in interviews, because it's important no matter where you are, how many years ago you did it. Like, it doesn't matter. I think there's always a place for it in the conversation. Obviously, just pick and choose when to bring it up. But yeah.
I've been in interviews and they've been like, you survived 4 years at Starbucks. You can survive anything.
This. Yeah, you can survive this.
You can survive anything.
It builds warriors.
Yeah,
it builds warriors.
Literally, a major thing I learned was like in that vein of people sometimes don't want to respect you is like, that balance of making sure you're respected, know how you should be treated, and handle it in a professional way. Like, make sure you are not getting walked on, but you have to know your rights always. You have to know what is right or wrong when you are an employee, because managers and other people can take very much advantage of people who don't. And so it's something that I've always learned and like have taught to any new people that come onto jobs that I've worked on, and be like, know what's right or wrong, know what you can stand up for yourself on, and how to in the most and best way that keeps you respected without getting fired, and make sure you don't take shit from just anyone, and know your place.
Yeah. Never take shit from anyone.
No.
And know, like you said, know your rights.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with, especially when you're dealing with like customers that are like your story, like starting to get a little crazy.
Know what you can put up with, what you should put up with and not, because customers aren't always right. So
yeah.
And managers aren't, I know some managers at Starbucks probably didn't appreciate this from me, but new baristas would come on and definitely take advantage of them. And I would be like, you don't have to say yes to that. Like, that's not in your job description. Or like, you can, like, if they're asking you to work extra or whatever on your day off, like, you can say yes if it's helpful and you want to. But some people feel the pressure of always having to say yes. So it's like knowing what your job is, what your job description is, what you have to say yes to, what you don't. And I would always inform the other people. Be like, don't let anyone walk all over you.
No, absolutely
know where
not.
you're at.
Absolutely not.
Know where you're at.
I think this, like, my final kind of point is just like, this is such a great job to have. I truly believe like this is a great job to do before you get into your career. Like, I would recommend it to anyone. I would do it again. Like, that's just where I think
major green flag.
it's a great, it's a green flag. It's a great resume builder. 100% recommend.
100%.
Great stories come from it. Crazy stories.
You will have, do it for the plot, honestly.
Yeah, for the plot. If nothing else,
you'll have so many
for the plot and for that check.
Yeah.
At the end of the night.
Yay. Oh my gosh. That's what keeps you coming back every time at the end of the night.
I get it.
All that money.
I get it. I get the people that stay.
Yeah.
It's just, you make great money and you have fun.
I love it. Well, I'm so glad you came back on. And of course, we got to end it as I end with all my guests on what have you been inspiring about recently? Something small, big, whatever it may be. Do you have a recent spiral?
Let's see.
Besides, it can be Love Island. That's an obvious one.
Honestly, like, I think my spirals, I'll say two. One fun, one real. Real is just kind of what our topic has been today, like just all of the change going on. I think, I'm trying to be in the more positive side of it and the exciting and like the what's on the other side of the mountain.
Yeah.
But I'm like trudging up the mountain. This is like so funny coming from someone that does not hike. I'm like trying to get to the other side actively. So I think I'm just like spiraling on, overthinking and like, oh my gosh, like, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Did I make the right decision? Am I like creating the right change at the right time? Like, there's just so many like overthinking thoughts that come up.
Yeah.
And so I'll spiral on that. And then the fun one is, it has to be Love Island, because we talk about it every night.
Every night.
We're watching it. We're keeping up. It's Casa Amor right now.
Yeah.
If you're tuned in, you already know.
Switch up is crazy.
And I think it's like a social experiment. Like, you're just watching things play out in real time. Yeah, they're like, it's just like little puppets putting into situations. And I always try to think like, what would I do in these situations?
Oh my gosh.
And how do you keep composed? That's like kind of not the point of the show. Like, they want the drama.
Yeah.
But the things they're going through, like, so many of the girls in recent episodes have said like, this is crazy. Like, this is what we're supposed to be doing right now.
It's
like,
not
this
normal.
is not normal.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've clocked it in other seasons, but I'm actively realizing it right now. Like, I think it's so cool that they're being like cognizant of what they're going through, and they're like, no, this is supposed to be like this.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think watching their crazy makes me feel like less bad about mine.
I love it. Yeah.
Makes me feel less
I'm like,
bad about
I am
mine.
really healthy. Oh my God, when I watch them.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
delusionally
Yeah.
watching. But the entertainment value, I mean, the show is just
Top
so
tier.
crazy. And it's just, yeah, to see what people are doing in Casa is just, it's always crazy, but here we go again.
Crazy. I love Trinity though. She makes me laugh so hard, and I hope people are clocking it. But she's literally like,
She's funny.
This is the first time I've seen a white dick. It's cute.
Yeah,
she's so funny. She just throws shit out like that,
throws,
and then
like,
she's like,
one-liners.
Bryce looks scrawny as hell. I got the ick.
Yeah,
watching it.
And
I'm like,
we were
I
talking
love
about
you.
this too. The Lord Farquaad thing
Yeah.
had me weak. I've used the Lord Farquaad joke for years now about like,
and it was so true.
blah 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 looks like Lord Farquaad, and she's like about to dance on this man,
and that's what she said.
and she's like, "Are you Lord Farquaad?" I was like, "Oh, all the AI recreations of it have me gagged."
And they have no idea too, like what is like sticking out here and what.
No, they have no idea. I love like hearing in the like reflection. Do they do a reunion or something where they talk about, or is it just like online videos? Okay.
No, they do a reunion.
They do a reunion.
Started with season 6 or something doing a reunion.
Yeah. That when some of them bring up like this went viral thing, and I think it's always so funny when they could see what went viral
after and getting their phones back.
Getting the phones back.
It's crazy. Oh my
There's been some funny like one-liners.
I love those. They've been good.
Yeah, so we'll see how things pan out at the end of Casa, and then hopefully we can go to a season finale watch party.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Fun things.
So I have, I guess, my serious one, and I did a whole episode on it. It either would have come out last week or next week. We'll see. But it's just an overthinking thing. Never feeling like I'm doing enough, and I don't have time to do more, but not feeling like I'm doing enough, and all my pursuits and all that, I go really into that, and I'm just like, when am I gonna feel content and like I am doing the right thing? Because I feel like I never am, no matter how much I am doing, and it just never feels like enough. And I'm always like, I don't know, am I ever gonna be in that spot that I want to, where I at least envision that I'll be feeling like content and where I want to be? But
I feel that. I think about that every day.
Yeah.
I will say though, and I've told you this before, like I think you really are doing a great job at everything, and you're doing like the right things, and I think you put yourself in the right places. But I get the overthinking because I'm an overthinker.
Outside people too being like, you need to do this and this and this and this, and I'm like, what's right and what's wrong? Like, I just want someone to tell me.
I think that is like one of the issues of like online stuff is like there's almost too much noise. In regard that you're speaking on. Yeah.
It's too much. But then my other smaller one is, it bothers me so much when people who are turning left on the road think they have the right of way. And you literally don't have the right of way unless you have a green arrow. And I never saw this in Pennsylvania, never saw this in North Carolina, but in Atlanta and LA, so many people be turning left when someone is turning right, and they cut them off and think they have the right of way. And it makes me mad every single time. And I don't get why people think they have the right of way when they're turning left. Do you see this? Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
When there's no one coming straight, but someone's coming and turning right, and then the people going this way turn left and think they can cut in front of the people turning right on green.
I feel like I've seen this, but I feel like not as maybe because it's a part of town that you're driving in.
Maybe
because you're probably on crazier streets.
Yeah,
but
I see it all the time, and I'm like, what are you doing? That's not the rules.
I know what you mean. Actually, this morning I saw somebody pull out. This is not what you're saying, but it's like same thing. Like on the yielded green, they like when the light turned green, the person turning left went before the straight oncoming.
Yes, I know that
like
too.
To beat they're like, oh, if I go first, I can just get there.
I can go.
And it's like, no, that's bypassing California law. Like, where's the police? Like, did we not all go through driver's ed? Like, what's going on?
I just don't get it. I see it a lot, and I'm like, no.
That one was crazy to me, and I'm like, it's first off not even rush hour.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Like, calm down.
And it's not that serious. And if you're that late, you have bigger problems.
Yeah,
like, that's crazy.
Please calm down.
Safety on the road, please.
Please, thank you, thank you.
Safety on the road. Safety in Starbucks.
That's where the police are at.
That's a health safety issue.
Yeah, it's crazy. Watch out.
Not okay.
Disgusting. I don't work
I
there
don't want to
anymore.
buy a drink there if like I'm seeing that.
They're the enemy.
Never, and not even like I don't even want the croissant anymore.
The croissants. The cake pops. I can make my own cake pop.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We digress.
Anyway, that's all I have. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for coming back on and being my first ever repeated guest. My first ever guest, and then my first ever repeated guest.
Many more.
We're back. I know. Should we run this back every few months?
Yeah.
Probably.
We will.
Probably. Do you want to share your TikTok, where people should follow you, handle, whatever you want to share?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my TikTok is Emily. I think it's 2 Ys. Emily 2 Ys _ GEE.
I'll tag
on
it too.
TikTok. I should know that.
Yeah. You need to know it now.
I should know that. I guess this is like the first time I'm being asked.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, I'll tag it below,
I
too.
think it's EMILYY _ GEE.
Yeah.
And you can find me on TikTok because that's where I'm posting for now.
Everything.
We may expand in this near future.
I don't even know that.
We'll see.
New info.
For now, find me on TikTok.
Okay. Okay, guys. So follow her along. Follow her journey. And I'm just so excited to see where your life is going right now. And I'm so proud of
excited.
you.
I'm excited for our lives together as
Yeah.
friends and the directions we're going. And every week when we hang out, we do check in.
Yeah.
On what's new and exciting. And also what's crazy and what we're spiraling about.
All of it. Every time. Literally. Okay.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for
it's
coming.
always fun. It's always a pleasure.
I love
And I'm
you.
excited to watch you on this journey.
Yes.
Yay! We made it.
We're out.
Signing off.